In education, we use tests to measure what students have learned. A test is reliable if it gives us similar results every time we use it. Think of a ruler. A reliable ruler always measures the same length. A reliable test does the same for knowledge. Reliability is important because it tells us if our test scores are accurate. If a test is unreliable, we can't be sure if a student's score reflects their true ability or just random chance. This is like using a broken ruler. We wouldn't trust the measurements. There are different ways to measure test reliability. Each method looks at reliability from a different angle. Understanding these methods helps us choose the best way to assess the reliability of our tests. By understanding reliability, we can make sure our tests are fair and accurate tools for measuring student learning. This helps us make good decisions about students' education. One way to check if a test is reliable is to give the same test twice to the same group of students. This is called test-retest reliability. We give the test once, wait a while, and then give it again. If the test is reliable, students should get similar scores both times. This means the test is stable over time. The scores from the two tests are then compared to see how closely they match. However, there are some things to consider with this method. If we wait too long between tests, students might have learned more, leading to different scores. But if we don't wait long enough, students might remember the answers from the first test. Test-retest reliability is a good way to see if a test is consistent over time. It helps us make sure that the test results are not just a fluke. Sometimes we want to test students on the same material, but don't want to give them the exact same test twice. This is where equivalent forms reliability comes in. We create two versions of the test that cover the same content but have different questions. We give one form to the students and then give them the other form shortly after. If the two forms are truly equivalent, students should get similar scores on both. This means both forms are measuring the same thing. This method helps us avoid the problem of students remembering answers from the first test. However, creating two equivalent tests is challenging and time-consuming. It requires careful planning and item development. Despite the challenges, equivalent forms, reliability is valuable for ensuring that our tests are consistently measuring the intended content. It helps us create multiple versions of a test without compromising the accuracy of our measurements. Sometimes we want to check the reliability of a test using just one set of scores. This is where split-half reliability comes in handy. We split a single test into two halves, treating them as two mini-tests. There are different ways to split a test, like using odd and even numbered questions. We then compare the scores on the two halves. If the test is reliable, students should score similarly on both halves. This method is easier than creating two separate tests. However, it only tells us about the consistency within the test, not across different versions. Split-half reliability is a useful tool for quickly assessing the internal consistency of a test. It helps us identify potential problems with individual items or sections that might be affecting the overall reliability. Section 5. Kuda-Richardson methods. Estimating reliability from a single administration. Kuda-Richardson, or KR, methods offer another way to check a test's reliability using just one administration. These methods use formulas to estimate reliability based on how well students answer each question and their total scores. One commonly used formula is KR20. This formula considers the difficulty of each question and how much the scores vary. It helps us see if the questions are working together to measure the same thing. KR methods are statistically sophisticated, but relatively easy to use. They provide a valuable tool for quickly estimating the internal consistency of a test without requiring multiple administrations or test forms. By using KR methods, we can gain insights into the reliability of our tests and identify areas for improvement in item development and test construction. Section 6. Factors influencing test reliability: length, spread, difficulty, and objectivity. Several factors can affect how reliable a test is. One factor is the length of the test. Longer tests tend to be more reliable because they give us more information about what students know. Another factor is the spread of scores. A wider spread of scores usually means the test is more reliable, because it shows that the test can differentiate between students with different levels of understanding. The difficulty of the test also matters. A test that is too easy or too difficult will not be very reliable. The best tests have a mix of easy, medium, and hard questions. Finally, objectivity is crucial. A test is objective if the scoring is not influenced by personal opinions. Multiple choice questions are more objective than essay questions. By understanding these factors, we can design tests that are more likely to be reliable. This helps ensure that our tests are fair and accurate measures of student learning. Section 7. Comparing reliability estimation methods. Understanding the differences. Each method of estimating reliability has its own strengths and weaknesses. Test-retest reliability is good for seeing if a test is stable over time, but it can be affected by students remembering answers. Equivalent forms reliability avoids this problem but requires creating two versions of the test. Split-half reliability is a quick way to check internal consistency, but it only tells us about the consistency within the test itself. Kuda-Richardson methods are statistically sophisticated and can be used with a single test administration, but they rely on assumptions about the data. The best method for estimating reliability depends on the specific test and the purpose of the assessment. By understanding the strengths and limitations of each method, we can make informed decisions about how to best assess the reliability of our tests. Section 8. The importance of reliability in testing, ensuring accurate and meaningful results. Test reliability is crucial in education because it directly impacts the accuracy and meaningfulness of test scores. When a test is reliable, we can be confident that the scores reflect students' true abilities and not just random chance or measurement error. Reliable tests allow us to make fair and informed decisions about students' educational paths such as placement, promotion, and curriculum development. They also provide valuable feedback to teachers about the effectiveness of their instruction and areas where students may need additional support. Moreover, reliable tests are essential for conducting meaningful research in education. They allow us to compare different groups of students, track progress over time, and evaluate the effectiveness of educational interventions. By striving for high levels of reliability in our tests, we uphold the principles of fairness, accuracy, and accountability in education. This ensures that our assessments provide valuable insights into student learning and guide us towards creating more effective learning environments for all. Section 9. Conclusion. Test reliability as a cornerstone of educational measurement. Test reliability is not just a statistical concept, it is a fundamental principle that underpins the entire field of educational measurement. It is the bedrock upon which we build fair, accurate, and meaningful assessments of student learning. By understanding the different types of reliability, the methods for estimating it, and the factors that influence it, we can ensure that our tests are robust instruments that provide valuable insights into student knowledge, skills, and abilities. As we continue to develop new and innovative ways to assess learning, the principle of reliability must remain at the forefront of our efforts. By striving for high levels of reliability in all our assessments, we can create a more equitable and effective education system for all learners.